his work Things Fall Apart, Chinua Achebe chronicles the tale of Okonkwo, a strong and respected member of the Igbo society in Nigeria. Achebe uses language and style to develop him into a complex and multifaceted character. He is presented as someone who is both strong and fragile, self-assured and insecure. This breakdown will examine how Achebe shapes his personality using the story's language and tone. We will also delve into the novel's key themes of individuality, tradition, and evolution. Things Fall Apart's description of Okonkwo's manner and the terminology used to describe him have been beautifully created to communicate the uniqueness of his personality. In Chapter 14, he is frequently portrayed as a man of enormous physical strength and force, and the vocabulary used to describe him emphasizes his physical strength and fearlessness. Using words such as furiously, dexterously, and violently to describe him suggests he is not hesitant to use force to attain his goals and is a formidable adversary who should not be underestimated. Okonkwo's emotional and psychological depth, as well as his dominating physical presence, is mirrored in the novel's language and style and in Okonkwo himself. Furthermore, in Chapter 17, they show that he is rather formidable regarding his physical talents. Okonkwo's tone and way of talking reflect the fact that he is driven by a great sense of pride and the desire to live up to his community's standards. In other words, he is a man who strives to live up to the standards set by his community. Okonkwo, for example, was a man who was feared by all because he never showed symptoms of weakness and was always in command of the situation. These descriptions highlight Okonkwo's perseverance and desire to be recognized as a prominent and respected member of his society. Things Fall Apart's story is not only affected by Okonkwo's character but reflects that character. The narrative's events are mostly motivated by his character and desires, which influence his choices. In addition, throughout the novel, he goes through several trials and tribulations that shape and direct his character, causing him to progress. As a result, his personality is reflected in and helps the progression of the narrative. The language and manner of the story in Things Fall Apart depict Okonkwo as a complex and multi-dimensional character. Since he is fighting his insecurities and worries, the language utilized in this chapter is more introspective and impassioned than the language used in previous chapters. This is accomplished through the use of several literary strategies. He is both strong and frail, confident yet insecure. Achebe's use of language and style in his writing allows him to communicate the many facets of his personality and the difficulties he has in striving to meet his goals and the expectations of his community. It is conceivable for a reader from a different nation or culture to arrive at various conclusions regarding Okonkwo and other characters in the story. These conclusions will rely on the audience's ethnic background as well as the encounters they have had. Nonetheless, the novel's examination of fundamental topics like identity, tradition, and change is likely relatable to readers from various backgrounds and walks of life. Okonkwo is a profoundly human and approachable figure, and Achebe does a masterful job of depicting his problems and victories through language and style in his work. Readers from all walks of life and cultural traditions will be able to relate to the novel's exploration of timeless, universal themes like identity, tradition, and change because these ideas transcend time and space. Things Fall Apart, in the end, serves as a potent and everlasting reminder of the need to comprehend and value the variety of human experiences. You can find this and many other essay samples on our website studycorgi.com.